Ladies and gentlemen, you are seeing the stuff of history books. There has never been a U.S. election with this much intrigue. Sure, Bobby Kennedy got gunned down at the Ambassador Hotel in California in front of everybody. JFK got his head blown off in Dallas. There's been some incredible stuff, but those were big events, but isolated. It's ongoing. As the establishment media tries to defend the Clinton crime family, they are burning themselves up. They are immolating themselves in their lies. Everyone sees through it. Scientific studies show between a 6 and 9% trust rate in mainstream media. The AP says 6%. And by the way, they're right there at the bottom of the barrel for mistrust. And the exercise we've seen in the controlled corporate media in trying to poo-poo Hillary Clinton, clearly having a seizure, clearly collapsing in New York because of the incredible heat of 80 degrees max, is illustrative of how these people are going for broke and have nothing to lose because they've basically already lost. Now, we've had medical doctors on, and there have been massive numbers of medical doctors on record, including, 70+% in a major national medical association who were polled last week. We ought to pull that article again that came out and said, the National Association of Doctors and Surgeons, that clearly she's got serious medical problems. Dr. Drew, who's not some right-wing Republican, came out and said she's clearly got serious medical problems, and he was fired. And then you see Hillary collapsing. She has these smaller seizures, but sometimes they get more intense. That's why there is a individual, the mystery man, the black man that orders the Secret Service around, who is there with the EpiPen for convulsions. This is the reality. I have family that has epilepsy. I know what it looks like when you're sitting there at the dinner table with somebody and they start going, and you know it was a really good day at work today, and they go, boom. I mean, this is what it looks like, ladies and gentlemen. And then they just sit there and go, no, you're a conspiracy theorist. If I was in a hospital and I was walking down the hall and I saw Hillary the way she looks, I'd say that's a patient right there. She looks like hell. And then you've got the coughing fits going on for years and over a year in the hospital and secretive brain surgeries and not releasing her full medical records. We had our reporters in Ohio last week. And there's an ambulance, and then Hillary goes in a tent for 45 minutes. They rush in with a big gurney. There's EMTs in body armor. Then she comes out, gives a speech, has to cancel it. She's coughing and hacking so bad. And then she has to go back in the medical tent. And they're trying to hide the stretcher. The media wouldn't even touch it, ladies and gentlemen. You talk about going down with the ship. Here's the word I've gotten from people high level in government. Hillary Clinton had a brain tumor removed in 2012. She's had a lot of complications and strokes from it and has fallen down and hit her head many times, as you saw from the epileptic seizure. We have Secret Service sources a month ago that told you about the lifts on the vehicles that have now been photographed. We have real sources. How many big national stories have we broken? Hundreds, because we got the guts to do it. Hillary Clinton was there at a 9/11 Ground Zero memorial in the morning, and she unexpectedly suddenly had to be whisked away. There's video of her aide getting her by the arm and helping her along. And then there is footage shot as she goes out towards a van and is leaned up against a guardrail. Clearly begins having a seizure. Her legs buckle under her, and she is drugged by 3 people, completely dead weight, into the vehicle. Hillary can never give speeches more than 10 minutes. She's never in public more than 30 minutes. She has coughing fits everywhere she goes for over a year. This is not pneumonia. Remember, first she said yesterday that she had been overheated. Then she told us about the diagnosis of pneumonia Friday by her doctor. She said that 3 years ago when she was trying to refuse to testify to Congress that she had pneumonia. We've gone back and looked. We have those articles. Ladies and gentlemen, this story has so many parts to it, but we, as you know, have been right on top of it. The only other news organization more on top of it than us has been DrudgeReport.com. In fact, I'm very proud of the fact we've been on this since the very beginning. And I'm very proud of the fact that we do our research and tell the truth and have our sources. And we have been given the credit for the conspiracy theory that Hillary Clinton has Parkinson's, has had brain surgery, a brain tumor, has special lifts to get into vehicles. That's now been confirmed, by the way. But the truth is, Matt Drudge started looking at this the most in 2012 because she suddenly looked like hell and was disappearing for 6 months at a time. Now, we've been on it since then. But it isn't about who gets the credit. It's about who tells the truth around here. And the woman looks like she's on her last legs, literally and figuratively, pun intended. Now, the bigger issue here is we have USA Today, U.S. News and World Report, the Associated Press, and a bunch of other establishment organs starting 2 weeks ago. It just boom, out of the blue. What happens if Hillary Clinton dies or Trump dies? What happens? Oh, it goes the Electoral College, or we suspend the election. In fact, there's the headline. A candidate's death could delay or eliminate the presidential election. Steve Nelson, U.S. News and World Report. Now, they'll have Rachel Maddow and everybody come out and say that I said that. And then misrepresent. No, we've been saying Trump starts going ahead of her in the polls. Will they have an assassination attempt? Will she mysteriously die? Then to make us feel sad for the Democrats to get Joe Biden or Mr. Kane in. And by the way, it's now mainstream news today, Newsmax, Associated Press, you name it, that they are looking at Joe Biden stepping in as the main presidential candidate with Kane under him. And of course, we've been saying all along, they've been holding him back in the ready. So understand, these stories are all up on Infowars.com. They are meeting in D.C. right now. This is official. Where is the press? Oh, obviously not there. The DNC is meeting right now on forcing Hillary Clinton out and making her stand down. Because she's the kingpin. She's got the blackmail info. She ran the White House under her husband the first time. But she's run out of gas. As she grasps for power, as she tries to remain the emperor, like a scene from The Dark Crystal, as she collapses into dust from which she came. Dust you came, dust you will return. And they're openly, we have the links to the mainstream news articles on Infowars.com, and articles written by Paul Watson and Steve Watson, who are so prolific. Paul's written 7 articles the last 10 hours. Hadn't slept in 2 days because this is all breaking so fast. I was up till 3 in the morning working. So is Zimmerman and Dew. We understand how important this is. So now we have mainstream news saying Hillary dragged into van after fainting. She didn't faint. She had a convulsion, an epileptic seizure. Can Bernie or Biden replace her? Yes. That's what the news is saying. So for me, that's the bigger issue. We've won the debate that Hillary is seriously ill. I mean, everywhere she goes, even when she's walking with governors at a plant, the men are all around her, ready to grab her arms. She's got this handler who we've now discovered the identity of. We have a special report on that. The black man with the EpiPen right behind her. When somebody asks her a question, he sees her start getting dizzy and flipping out. It's okay. It's okay. Keep going. Keep going. And you see Hillary kind of come back in. And I've had family. My uncle was in a big motorcycle accident, and he's on the right medications now and actually got a brain implant, so he doesn't have as many. But I've seen him many times start having one, and you can go, Joe, come back to me. Just settle down. Everything's going to be all right. And he'll come out of the little, he calls them quizzlings, but I guess they're quizzles is his little nickname for them. I've probably seen him have a quizzle 200 times. I've seen him have big seizures a few, where he's on the ground convulsing and spit coming out of him and, everything else. And that's what goes on with Hillary, folks. In fact, you can even see by the time they're getting her in the truck, she's really starting to go. And look, if she tries to stay on the campaign trail, she's going to have full-blown ones. She's having these petite malls or these, baby mole seizures. Anybody can see that, and the doctors have all seen it. That's the head going in circles, and she's trained herself to be able to come out of it. But that's why she can't be on stage more than 10 minutes because, folks, she's having these seizures a lot, which means it's progressing. Probably the brain tumor is back. And they just want to get her to protect the whole dynasty into office to put their people in one more time. And they are trying to carry this corpse over the line. This is biblical. This is like a Greek tragedy. This is unprecedented, edge of your seat. I mean, I can't even sleep at this point. I went to bed at 3 a.m. I shot out of bed at 6 a.m. I've had half a cup of coffee. Don't even need coffee now. Because this is just unbelievable. And to see Rachel Maddow and all these people get up there and attack us and lie about us, how stupid they look and how desperate they are and how they misrepresented Rachel Maddow. I'm going to play this clip first. Last week in a hour-long disinformation piece, we played like 13 minutes of it, lied about us, cut clips together, spun things, took satire we've done, took it out of context. But at the very first, she said, InfoWars, she's showing it on screen, says that Hillary can't walk and always has a wheelchair, but we've all just been imagining we saw her walk. We didn't say that. We said the Secret Service contacted us at the RNC and said, get ready for information in the next 2 weeks. 3 weeks later, through our contacts, curried by hand, not over digital media, we were given the intel that they won't tell us what it is. She's falling down all the time. It's getting much worse. She can hardly go out in public more than 15, 20 minutes. We've got lifts on the vehicles that cost over $250,000. It's so hard to keep this secret. You're going to see a big announcement soon. We think it's a brain tumor. And then I talked to some high-level CIA people. I'm just going to stop right there. And they said, well, I can neither confirm nor deny that there is a brain tumor, but there was a brain tumor when she spent a year in the hospital in 2012, 2013. So you don't start having seizures so bad, you can't be out in public more than 15, 20 minutes. And notice that's why she looks so drugged. They got to drug her up with the drugs that suppress the neurons, the suppressants, so that you don't have a convulsion. So that's why she looks so high when she gives a speech or is in public. That's why she has to will herself to even have any energy. I'm going to be honest with you. I feel sorry for Hillary Clinton. I'm going to skip this network break because this is so important. Now, if you're a radio listener, obviously you can hear me break all this down. The videos are all on Infowars.com, PrisonPlanet.com, DrudgeReport.com has amazing coverage. But everybody should go to Infowars.com/show to see the video, the articles, the documents we're showing here on air that back up everything we're saying. But first, here's Maddow that I played on Friday, opening up her hour-long attack piece of disinformation, trying to discredit us, because if the mainstream media ever picks up what we're covering, or even the new alt media does, which has already happened, they are done, because we are on target. Let me tell you, the average news agency wouldn't even talk to the Secret Service. Do you have any idea how dangerous this is, what we're doing? I'm not up here snake handling for fun, okay? I'm doing this because I have a duty. This is real. That's why it's come out about the lifts on the vehicles. It's happening. The Secret Service cannot believe what they're seeing. In their history, they've never gone public to people. But it's that crazy. Quote, worse than you know, Alex. Worse than you say. Worse. Bongino hasn't even told me anything. They've been breaking in his house, cars, you name it. You imagine the other people, the danger they're in? I mean, this is what journalists are supposed to do, stick their necks out for their country. This is happening. And by the way, within an hour of us putting the video up last night, it was being removed all over. This is public interest video. This is a major election. You can't sit there and try to charge media outlets for 10 seconds of footage of a public figure collapsing and try to gouge little mom and pop media organizations. AP wouldn't pay the bounty they wanted. I guess in the middle of the night, Paul Watson did, which is fine, but I'm going to get back with these people and probably have to start a legal case over this, because I'm not going to set the precedent of paying tens of thousands of dollars, $3,000 already, to be able to show you this information and pay more money every time I show it to you. But you know what? This information's going out. They tried to not show this all day yesterday on mainstream media until this morning they started showing it. And it's because of the real media, drudgereport.com, Infowars.com, that the public's even able to see this. Or Rachel Maddow, if they could really control the web, which they're trying to do, she'd get up there and say there was no video of Hillary collapsing. In fact, they've already done it. They say this is just stumbling. In fact, let's show CNN. CNN. Hillary stumbles in New York. I sent you guys that article. We're going to show that in a moment, but let's go ahead and play Rachel Maddow last week. Here it is.
Do you also know that Hillary Clinton uses a wheelchair? Her personal vehicle has had to be outfitted with a wheelchair lift because she is not a person who can actually walk. She secretly uses a wheelchair all those times you think you've seen her walking. She hasn't been walking. Did you know that? Did you also know that Hillary Clinton has Parkinson's disease? No, these things are true. I know they are true because I read them in the headlines. Here was the shock headline on Hillary Clinton's wheelchair vehicle. Just one column over from that, there was also this seemingly competing news. Does Hillary Clinton have Parkinson's disease? The subhead there, we can all see she has some very serious health problems.
Now, what they don't tell you is, on the article she's showing the headline of, right under it are mainstream photos of Hillary getting out of her vehicle with the lift on it with the wheelchair. Now, the Secret Service didn't tell us she was using a wheelchair. They said there's major lifts on it because she can't get in the vehicles. So it was worse than we were saying. We apologize. And the Secret Service said, listen, we don't want to give you more info. We're just trying to point you in public information you can already find. Send your reporters to her rallies. You're going to see medical personnel. You're going to see the lifts. You're going to see some interesting things because here's the secret. She's falling down every hour, reportedly. She was in a medical tent Monday in Ohio with our people 50 yards away, held by Secret Service, for 45 minutes before she could go give the speech that she had to cancel 5 minutes in, with medical gurneys and guys in body armor running around like it was the end of the world. We have them, ladies and gentlemen. And then we've got CNN. Look at this disinformation. Hillary Clinton stumbles. Will her campaign follow? It's not stumbling. It's not stumbling, ladies and gentlemen. When you completely fall and buckle and they drag you into a vehicle by your knees. How does Rachel Maddow feel now? Well, Rachel Maddow already is a shadow of herself, and so is MSNBC. MSNBC, just a decade ago, had shows with up to 5 million viewers a night, just as big as Fox. Their biggest shows have 500,000 viewers. This show has over 1 million an hour on terrestrial radio and is only in the top 10 of radio shows in the radio portion, still dwarfing them. Limbaugh has 5 to 6 million an hour. Sean Hannity, 3 or 4 million an hour. He goes on and on. George Norrie, 3 or 4, 5 million an hour. They are literal husk. But the newspapers and other globalist media regurgitate what they say to create a facade that they're big and important. So she knows she's discredited. She knows she's a joke. She knows all she has is a big studio. But she gets up there and says that we are saying she can't walk, which we didn't even say. But then 3 days later, she's falling down on her face. And everybody knows somebody with epileptic problems. It's very sad. It is very serious. My little cousin, Buckley's little brother, had a brain injury when he was a kid, climbed up a roof and fell off of it and died after decades of that complication. I mean, I've experienced this a lot. I know what it looks like, and he did the same thing where you'd be sitting there, and all of a sudden he just do the head in the circle, just like Hillary does. We've all seen it. We all know what a seizure looks like. We all know what the start of a seizure looks like. We all know Hillary looks like hell. We all know there's a guy walking right beside her with an EpiPen to stop violent seizures so Hillary doesn't cut her tongue off. You know, I don't mean to make a joke out of this, but let's play this because we got to have some humor. It is Weekend at Bernie's. I mean, there's a clip where they're trying to carry his dead body along and you know, got the head dancing like a bobblehead. Let's play that clip. By the way, Rob Dew's making a larger mix of all this and her falling down and her stumbling and all the rest of it. We need to put the clip of her vomiting up the green balls as well because it's very serious and it's illustrative of how arrogant these people are. Can you imagine this woman in control of the nuke codes when she's already sold us out all these foreign powers and she's so reckless that she knows she's had all these brain surgeries. She knows she's got all these medical problems, and she's got this entire prostitute media ready to lie for her on every single front and prop her up. The problem is the illness is progressing biblically so fast. When I say biblical, I mean this is something out of the Bible. I mean this is historical. This is crazy. This is legendary. This is the stuff of literature. This is just over-the-top redonkulous. And it'd be funny if it wasn't so serious because I want to explain something to everybody. Here are the headlines. A candidate's death could delay or eliminate the presidential election. U.S. News and World Report, August 30th, 2 weeks ago. To the day. 2 weeks ago. And I said, get ready. She's deteriorating so fast that they're getting, and I suddenly saw it in a bunch of other publications. You saw it. We all covered it here. Here's our article breaking it down. Could election be suspended if Hillary drops out? I love how we're so conservative that mainstream media said they would suspend it. We just say, could they? And then we're the conspiracy theorist. Could election be suspended if Hillary drops out? Electoral College could choose the next president. I'm going to break this down when we come back from break because for me, correct me if I'm wrong, I think this is the big story. Also up on Infowars.com, DNC to hold emergency meeting to consider replacing Hillary Clinton. They're holding it right now. Paul Watson links to Politico and the D.C. source where they're saying this. And I was told by the Secret Service, Joe Biggs was the contact. I said, here, you take this hand grenade. He was happy to take it because he was the original contact. And I talked to him there in Cleveland at the RNC. And I said, okay, fine. Biggs, you want to handle it? You go right ahead. Be careful, buddy. But Biggs was like, you think it's a setup? And I said, no, it's not a setup. Look at these guys. They're giving us high fives and stuff. I mean, they just totally know Hillary's evil. But I said, still be really careful. Don't get anything classified, obviously. Just get general info. And again, the Secret Service is just watch her motorcade. Watch her vehicles. Watch what she does. You know, just stay on her. Send the media there because the other media won't cover it. And we said, what's happening? And they said, she's falling down all the time. We don't know what's wrong with her, but it's getting bad. There's no way this can go on much longer. I told you all this a month ago on the Sunday show with Biggs for an hour. Go watch the video. We laid it all out. Secret Service doesn't even know what's wrong with her. They just said that she's falling down all the time, having convulsions. They said they heard Parkinson's. And then the WikiLeaks comes out 2 weeks later and says, Hillary, I need Parkinson's medication. I mean, this is pretty much open and shut that she's got serious neurological problems. And most medical doctors and neurologists and brain surgeons I talk to say, it's a tumor, to quote Arnold Schwarzenegger. Brain tumor. And I am very sad for Hillary. I pray she repents. I pray she comes to God for her evil before she dies. And I don't wish any harm upon her. This is the time they're going to false flag. This is the time they might kill her, claim some right-winger did it. We need to be, heads up right now for serious stuff. My fellow InfoWarriors, I am very excited to be able to announce to you the introduction at InfoWarsLife.com of a new way to save time and money when you stock up on InfoWars Life formulations like Survival Shield X2 and Super Male Vitality. Just go to InfoWarsLife.com today, select your favorite product, click on Auto Ship before adding to cart, and choose how often you want us to send you another order. Every time you choose Auto Ship at InfoWarsLife.com, you get 10% off, and you won't have to worry about running out and having to reorder next time. And of course, you can cancel with one click anytime. As you know, I'm all about the idea of a 360 win, and the new auto ship feature at InfoWarsLife.com is a sure win for everybody. A win for liberty, a win for health, and a win when it comes to big savings. Visit InfoWarsLife.com today and save 10% on your next InfoWars Life order by selecting auto ship at checkout. That's InfoWarsLife.com or call 888-253-3139.